Hi, digital makers. Christina here from the Raspberry Pi Foundation team. Thank you for joining me this week for Digital Making at Home, where we are making things move. So I am going to be coding. Actually, I'm coding from my couch. Is anyone else coding from your couch? I'm going to be coding from my couch today, and we are going to be doing our Tech Toys project. So let's jump right in. All right, so I'm here at projects.raspberrypi.org. This is where you can go to explore our library of over 200 projects if you are just getting started with coding or if you've been coding for a while. So we can click here to browse all projects, and you'll see that you can see projects by topic, hardware, software, or level. We're going to be doing our Tech Toys projects today. So to get there, we're going to use the short link rpf.io/dm-toys. And this project is actually a Scratch project, which I'm excited about because this month is Scratch month. So we're doing all Scratch projects. Here on the left, you're going to see our table of contents. This gives us an idea of what we're going to be coding. We're going to be spinning a bow tie. We're going to be making sunglasses change colors. There's a helicopter. There's a loop-the-loop. This is definitely on theme because our theme this week is making it move. Make it move. So we're going to be making some stuff move. Let's check out a preview of our project. So we've got directions here. We're going to click the bow tie and we're going to click the sunglasses. Okay. Then click the laptop. All right. And we can use some arrow keys. Okay. And then there's a space bar. This is where the loop comes in. Let's see. Oh, all right. So we're going to be coding this. So let's jump in. I'm going to go ahead and go to our introduction. And there's a starter project here. So this is, make sure that you click on this starter project because this will give you a bunch of sprites already in your Scratch project, which is great. That means we don't have to add anything there. We can just jump right into coding. So the first thing I'm going to do is I want to make sure my project is saved in my account. So if you're not logged in, make sure to log in and then click Remix Project. I've lost a lot of projects sometimes where I haven't saved them. So I want to make sure this one is saved because this is going to be a cool project. Now, you'll see here we have a bunch of sprites. We've got Alex, Devin, a helicopter, antenna, sunglasses, bow tie, laptop, and rocks. And then we've got our blocks over here. So we're going to be dragging these blocks. I'm going to click them and drag it over into this space here, which is where we're going to be coding. So the first thing we're going to do is let's get that bow tie to spin. So to do that, I want to click on the bow tie and make sure that sprite is highlighted, and I'm going to start coding. And you'll know that you're on that sprite because you'll see a little picture of that sprite in the top corner here. And I'm also going to zoom in a little bit for my code. So I want to start by getting an events block for when this sprite is clicked. And I want to make the sprite move. So let's go to a motion block. Let's do turn 15 degrees. And then actually I'm not going to let them connect yet because I always like to pull my blocks over. And then I'm going to get a repeat block. So let's now connect these together. So I'm going to use this repeat block, and then I'm going to put in the 15 degrees. And what this is going to happen is when I click my sprite, for 10 times, it's going to turn 15 degrees. So let's see what that looks like. Okay. Now we're going to do a little math, and this is great because I love math and I love seeing how it applies in the real world. So we have 15 degrees and it's happening 10 times. So that's 15 times 10, which is 150. And so that's saying, so our, what is this called? A bow tie is moving 150 degrees. Now I'm thinking in my head, I want this bow tie to spin all the way around. So do you know a full circle? How many degrees is a circle? If you don't know this, feel free if you want to Google it really fast, or if you want to go ask an older sibling or ask your parent, just run over and ask them how many degrees is a full circle. Then once you have that, come on back. And I'm going to give you a couple seconds. A full circle is 3, 2, 1, 360. So we want to get our bow tie to spin a full circle. So we need it to spin 360 degrees. So to do that, I'm thinking, okay, what could I multiply 10 by to get 360? and that's going to be 36. So now 36 by 10 is going to give us a full spin. I also want to reset this bow tie because Devin, he's a well-dressed guy. He wouldn't wear his bow tie like this. So let's go back to, I believe, motion. And this is a fun trick that, like, if you ever want to reset something, especially if a spinning sprite, you can go to point and direction 90, and I can just click on that, and that just will reset. And I don't even need this block now. I can put it back. So we've got Devin's bow tie is back at a neutral state. So now let's click and see if it spins a full circle. All right, yes, it did. So we just spun 360 degrees. Now I actually want to do this twice. So let's see. I'm gonna change this to 20 because now it's gonna do 360 degrees twice. So I keep wanting to go to the green flag, but we have to click the bow tie. All right, twice. Now, I love a spinning bow tie, so we're gonna make this 40, yes, 40, and we're gonna have it repeat. Yes, okay, I love our spinning bow tie. That is awesome. So next, let's go ahead and change the colors of the sunglasses. Now, to do that, we want to move to our sunglass sprite. So I'm gonna go ahead and click on the sunglasses. And I know there's no code there. It didn't disappear. It's still with our bow tie. You see down here, when I click on bow tie, our code's still there. But now we're gonna move to our sunglasses. So let's go ahead and get these colors to change. And similarly to the bow tie, I'm going to have our, I'm going to use the block when the sprite is clicked. So I'm going to grab that block, and then we are changing the looks. So let's go to the looks blocks, and we are going to change the colors. And then we're going to have this repeat. So let's go to control and then go to repeat. Okay, so let's put these together. Let's connect our blocks. Let's just see how this starts. So if I click on the sunglasses, okay, we had a couple of colors, so it changed the color effect by 25 and it repeated 10 times. That was kind of short, so let's actually make that 20 and see what happens. Ooh, I like that. You know what? Let's go for 40. Okay, I'm liking that our sunglasses are changing colors and they look really good. Feel free to like change up the numbers. Like I'm just playing around. So let's try this 45 and see what happens. Okay, so definitely feel free, you want to pause the video and play with these numbers. Make this project your own. That's what we want to see. We want to see what you're creating with code. So next I'm going to move to the helicopter. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to power up the helicopter. And so to do that, we are going to start coding with our laptop. Because in this case, we're setting it up where if you click on the laptop, it then now does something to the helicopter. And this is neat because before we were clicking directly on the sprite. So we're going to click on the laptop and then it's going to make the helicopter move. I'm going to show you how. So we're going to use an events block and we're going to use when the sprite is clicked. And this is for our laptop. And let's add some sound. So we're going to go ahead. We can start the computer beep sound. So let's first check and make sure this works. All right, sounds very technical. And then what we're going to do so that our helicopter is going to actually move is we're going to use a broadcast block. And I love broadcast blocks because we can start sending messages to different sprites. So we're going to do broadcast. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to have a new message. I'm going to call this, you can call it whatever you want. This is your code. I'm going to call it helicopter spin. And I'm going to go ahead and add that in here. So what's happening right now is when the sprite is clicked, so when I click on the laptop, we're going to have a sound, and then we're going to broadcast the message helicopter spin, okay? So we've got our sound. Now there's a message out there, helicopter spin. So we actually want to set it up now so that our helicopter receives this message. So we're going to switch to the helicopter sprite. So I'm going to click on the helicopter. Now we're in the helicopter sprite space. And I'm going to grab the block for when I receive. And it's already automated, set up helicopter spin. As you see, you can add multiple messages. So you could be broadcasting messages to tons of different sprites. So now what I'm setting up here is that for the helicopter the helicopter, when it receives that message, helicopter spin, it's going to do something. So what's neat about the helicopter and any sprites is that you have costumes. So I'm going to click on costumes here, and we're going to see that there are 2 costumes for the helicopter, and you'll notice that they're just a little bit different. So it's going to look like the propellers are moving. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab the block for looks, and I'm going to have our sprite move to the next costume. And I want this to just to happen. Like I want it to keep going. So we've been using repeat blocks. I'm going to actually now use a forever block. So I'm going to set up a forever loop, my next costume, and I'm going to, well, this is now when I receive the helicopter spin. So to get that message out there, I need to click on the laptop. All right, and it works. So we've got our helicopter spinning. So far we have our bow tie, we've got our sunglasses, and we have our laptop, which is causing our helicopter to spin. So let's make our helicopter fly. So now we want to, what we had earlier was we had the helicopter moving based on the arrow keys. You can have it be any keys you want. Oh no, looks like my project can save. So let's try that again. Okay, it's saving. Whew. Whew. Okay, we're okay. Project is saved, folks. Double check your projects. Make sure they're saved. So let's start. We're going to code the helicopter to move up. So we're going to code the helicopter to move up. So I'm going to grab an events block, and we are going to grab the second one, which has to do with keys. So when I click the up arrow, that key is pressed. We're going to have it change. We're going to click a motion block. We're going to have it change Y. So let's find that block here. Okay, great. And so what that does is with this block here, our scratch is on a coordinate plane. So we have a y-axis, which is up and down, and we have an x-axis, which is left to right. Now, so that means when I click the up arrow, my helicopter should go up. So let's see what happens here. It should change by 5. Okay, so now I'm holding down the up arrow, so it's changing by 5 as I just continue to hold it up. So I want you to try doing this with the down arrow. Try doing it without, well, feel free to pause the video, try doing it without seeing what I do. I'll give you a hint, it's very similar. You can always just duplicate the code, which is what I'm gonna do. Then you have to change a couple of things. So definitely feel free, I'll give you a second. Now I'm gonna show you. So I'm gonna switch this to down arrow, and then I am going to have this change by -5. So we've got up and we've got down. So, so now we're moving up, we're also moving down. What we can do though is we can also add this into our forever loop. So maybe you have done some coding before. And so what you could do instead is we could add an if then block, and then we could add a sensing block, which is similar. So sensing, and let's find the key block here. So key, and we're going to have this be the up arrow. And we're going to have it also change by 5, change Y by 5. There we go. And so I'm going to actually get rid of this block here, and you'll see that this will do exactly the same thing. So it's a little bit smoother. You see how when my code, when I press up, it goes up a lot smoother, and then when it kind of jerks when it goes down. Having our code here in the forever loop does that. So let's go ahead and add in the rest of our code. So we're going to add in an if then for each of the keys. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now for the down arrow, and I'm going to have that be -5. by y, right? So this is still on the y-axis. So we're going up and down on the y-axis. Now let's go ahead and duplicate, and we're going to have this be the right arrow. And this is, we're going to actually change this block. This is now needs to be changed by x, because the x-axis is left and right, okay? So this is going to be 5. I'm going to add this in here, and we're going to check it. Okay, all right. So right, okay. The problem is I can't go left, so I need to add in that code, or my helicopter's stuck there. All right. So let's go ahead and set this up. Our left arrow, and since we're going, it's going to be a -5. All right, let's see here. Ooh. For some reason, I felt like I had to press the laptop to start my helicopter. All right, okay, we've got our helicopter moving. And now let's add the cherry on top, which is our loop-the-loop. So to do that, we are going to have the loop-the-loop happen when we click on the space key. Oops, sorry. I'm going to click on the space key. And we are going to have it spin. And if you remember before, we had our bow tie spin. Let's go ahead and look at that code. We had it repeat 40 times and turned 360 degrees for it to spin multiple times. Now for the helicopter, I'm just going to have it do it once. So let's go ahead and grab the motion, and we are going to do, I'm going to have it go the other way. So turn 15 degrees. So let's see what this looks like, just for the fun. Okay. So I click it once, and there's like a little bit of a spin. So this is again that 150 degrees. So you can play with the number. So we could even do 360 and then have this be 1 degree. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so you see that's moving really slow. It's moving 1 degree, but it's repeating it 360 times. So what we could do is we could change the numbers. So we could have this go to 10, and we could have this be 36, and that'll still, so that's a lot faster. So we can continue to play with the numbers to have it be 360. So, I mean, or it can be as many as you want. So we could also do, how about, I'm just gonna play as 20, and then we can do, let's just do 30 and see what happens. Oh, so that like spins a bunch, right? Or 45, 8, changing up the numbers, just playing with them. Okay. And now remember I said that we could, what we can do is to reset our, whenever we can reset a sprite, we can just click on that, the point in direction 9 degrees, that sets our sprite to be in the correct direction. So what we can do now is also add in a motion block. So this will be the moving block. And what this will do is this will have it where when we click the space bar, our block will, or our sprite will move in a direction and then also spin. So let's see how that looks. Okay, so then, okay, so it ends up being like a bigger loop, right? Because it moves 5 steps. So what if we had it move 10 steps? It'll probably be a really big loop-de-loop. Yeah, look at, oh, I like that. So feel free to play with these numbers. You can change how many times it repeats. You can change the degrees that it spins. You can change the steps. And maybe you can even try it where the helicopter goes fully around everyone in the city. So we've gotten Devin's bow tie to spin. We've gotten Alex's glasses to change colors. We've gotten the laptop to make noise and had it where the laptop actually controls the helicopter, which is now the propellers to spin. And then we are able to move the helicopter, which is neat. You see, we've got a couple other sprites. We've got antenna, we've got rocks. So you could also add in more sprites here and make them move, trying out with other broadcast messages. What's neat too is if we go back to the projects page and we go to the challenge, there's some suggestions for what you could do next. Even here it gives ideas for like how you can maybe make the antenna move, giving some suggestions here. These are some additional blocks that you could add in: a retro robot, a rocket ship, or a motorcycle. All right, as always, we'd love to see what you create. So head to rpf.io/home and share your projects with us. I can't wait to see what you create this week with code. Bye.